All right, guys, we're live and just going to jump on for a little bit before I head to bed. I haven't got a chance to check any wrestling. Been kind of a busy day, but I thought we'd talk a little bit about Reza Ramon, Chico, Scott Hall, the bad guy. Just some memories I have and some stuff I want to do in the future, probably with this show. But first, check out our intro. Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3, and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform, as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? Working Fans Podcast. So, like I was saying in the beginning, I just thought we'd get a chance to talk a little bit about Scott Hall. I want to do probably in the next week or so a 5-3-1 of best Razor Ramon, best Scott Hall matches. So, for you guys that follow along and know what the 5-3-1 is, basically it's a top 5 list of, our whatever our subject is, whether it's favorite matches, pay-per-views, this would all be around Scott, Razor Ramon. Now, for whatever reason, Scott Hall, in particular, his Razor Ramon character, I really, really resonated with me. Like, my mom was a big fan of Razor Ramon. We still crack each other up whenever we see each other, telling, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, one-liners, like the little vignettes he had where, he's picking the fruit and he says something like, you got a problem with me taking whatever I want, and he spits it at the guy's face. It's just so over the top, so good. And I'm trying to think, like I said, I want to do a top 5 just talking Razor Ramon matches, or maybe Scott Hall matches in general. But when I think back, the first time I saw this guy was in the AWA, and he was teaming with Kurt Hennig. And I didn't really remember him too much. I remember hearing the name, and he looked completely different. And then he came over to WCW, and I saw him as the Diamond Stud. Big guy, impressive moveset, but for whatever reason, just didn't get pushed at that time. Then he comes over to WWF at the time, and they push him as Razor Ramon. He's got the gold. Something happened to this gold, Chico. Something going to happen to you. It's fantastic. I was just a big, big fan of Razor right away because I always thought he had the look and he had the moves. They just needed someone to get behind him. And so I was thinking, what were some of my favorite matches of Razor Ramon? That Intercontinental title run he had great matches with Shawn Michaels. Obviously, the ladder match, but, he had a couple ladders. He had that WrestleMania 10 that we all talk about, but he had that SummerSlam one in Pittsburgh, too, which is another phenomenal ladder match that they had. He had great matches with Jeff Jarrett where they tore the house down. I think in ring-wise, Razor Ramon, that era might have been his best matches. Obviously, when he got to WCW, Scott Hall took off to another level. But, yeah, that Razor Ramon character really, really, I think, just propelled him, obviously. It gave him that opportunity, because he had that kind of push, and he resonated with fans that they let him be Scott Hall in the NWO. And I don't know, what a great competitor. I'd have to say, though, his matches with the 1-2-3 Kid in particular too. When he put the Kid over, when he put Sean Waltman over, it's so good because it really was the first time you ever saw an upset like that. And if you remember the way they built it, like they had the Kid come out, and I think he came out as the Lightning Kid at first, which is what he was doing around the Independence. He was wrestling as the Lightning Kid. And they had him wrestle somebody, maybe Bam Bam Big or somebody, squashes him. And they bring him back next week, and he's like the Cannonball Kid or something. And I think he wrestles Doink, squashes him. So the third week, he's just the Kid. And he's got this match with Razor Ramon. Okay, well, we know where this is going. And there's no build or anything before this. There's nothing that's going to make you think that this is going to happen. There's no reason. Enhancement guys didn't win at that time. And this guy's been portrayed as an enhancement guy. Nope. Right in the middle of the match that Razor Ramon had been dominating. Kid goes to the top rope. Boom. Moonsault. Gets the quick pin. We got a hot angle storyline. And Ramon ends up being like a huge baby face. Because Ted DiBiase at the time is mocking Ramon and saying that I can't believe you let a nobody beat you. And then he has a match with the Kid. Razor ends up helping, and the Kid beats DiBiase. So now Razor's a babyface. Kid's got some momentum. It was just a really great time, like in my wrestling fandom. That whole WWF New Generation, and Razor Ramon was such a big part of that. Also, his matches with Bret Hart. I mean, he had a match with Bret Hart at the Royal Rumble where he was a bad guy, and Bret put on a great match with him. They would go on to have another great match at 93 King of the Ring. I think it was the opening match that really just took off. Yeah, I can't say enough great things about Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, in terms of like the performer that we got to see. And like I said, he has a special place in my heart too, because it was really some good bonding me and my mom always had. Like, she loved Razor Ramon. So anyway, guys, just want to jump on for a few minutes tonight. Like I said, we're going to do in the future, we're going to do a top 5 of Razor Ramon / Scott Hall matches. So check that out when we can. In the meantime, guys, thanks for popping in. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.